knees getting past his feet and forcing my way from this position into a half guard position. Okay, so those are the three kind of entries into half guard that we're going to be looking at going forward. More loose passing at distance, where we force our opponent into kind of defensive guard retention, where we act like we want regular guard passes from space, getting around the legs, and then from there we bait our opponent into hooking us into half guard. Other ones where we get entangled in our training partner's legs in kind of de la Riva or reverse de la Riva type situations, and then from there we go in and we start working our way into a half guard. And then lastly is where we go in and we start forcing a body lock where I control my training partner's hips. Maybe this guy's playing a seated guard or whatever the case is, and I feel like I need to go in. I want to avoid maybe being entangled in the legs. He's not giving me a chance to get angles, whatever the case is. We got to get good at all three of these, and you can certainly favor some, but it's just good to be competent in at least all three of them, and then go in and start using them as a means of getting to the chest-to-chest half guard position. All right, guys, so let's take a little dive into this first strategy that we were talking about. We're playing at distance. We're playing from space on our training partner. We're in a neutral position, and we want to look to get to a position of advantage, okay? Chest-to-chest half guard is not a scoring position, but is a position where you have a major advantage on your training partner to then score and then dominate from either a mount or a side control position from a chest-to-chest pin, okay? And so that's always what we're looking for. Similar to how in the chest-to-back series, we saw both from seated guard situations or from standing situations, how do we get from neutral to then that position of advantage where I have my chest on my opponent's back, maybe in a front headlock, maybe in a rear body lock, or maybe in a turtle position. I haven't scored. None of those positions score anything, but they're putting me in a position of advantage to then get to either my opponent's back, or in this case, pass straight to mount, straight to side control, to a chest pin where I have submission opportunities available. The first one we're going to look at is where I'm standing over my opponent. Okay, so we're loose passing. So generally, the loose passing is going to be done from standing. I'm going to be more mobile, and we're going to be in a position where I want him on his back. So if he's seated, for example, I have to use different strategies to go in and put him down on his back. And now from here, I can do all of my passing. Okay, and so one of the great things about no gi is that unlike the gi, when I go in and I make grips, it's very easy to make those grips. If I wanted to go in and I wanted to establish pant grips, if I was playing in the gi, it takes a second to solidify a good grip. But when we're playing with no gi, it's pretty easy for me to make a grip and go. So getting angles on this guy isn't that hard. When we approach him with our hands first. Okay, we never just walk in here where it's so easy for him to start tying me up. I always play at a distance. I put him back, and then from here, I just kind of probe over here at my training partner's feet. And I just get him in a position where I can make a grip, get his legs tense, and immediately move to an angle. Okay, so you can see it doesn't take very much. All I have to do is move his feet one way, and I move to the other way. And making that grip, I don't have to really establish the grip. I just have to go in and put my hands on him. The second I put my hands on him, it's so easy to step in a variety of different ways, where I can come through, and I can cross, or I can shuffle, and I can move off at an angle where now his best option from here is to start bringing legs back in. Okay, and he has to put me back in a position where I'm in front of him. Okay, so you can see that getting the angle is pretty easy. The problem is maintaining the angle. Okay, we talked about with the gi previously. With the gi, it's a little bit harder to get angles if I'm focused on making grips on this guy. Because as I'm focused on making pant grips on me, now all of a sudden he's tying up my sleeves, and now from here he starts putting his feet in. With no gi, I have the opposite problem. Making that grip and getting to the angle is no problem. But maintaining the angle is a little bit harder because it's so easy for him to either take my grips off, start bringing feet back in, and now from here I have to start going and getting to another angle. So the name of the game is side-to-side movement, okay? Because over time, and this is just a good passing strategy in general, and just a good winning strategy because you're fatiguing your opponent. And that's really ultimately, that's the whole point of jiu-jitsu, is to keep a guy in a position where he's working harder than you, okay? So I want to drain his energy levels. That's efficiency, okay? And so that's what we're looking to do here. Okay. When I'm in front of this guy, I make a grip and I just start moving out to the side. Okay. And now from here, anytime that he goes to bring his legs back in, I can always go in, just readjust my grip and maintain my angle. I can go in, I can start looking to maintain my angle. He brings legs back in and we just go in and we move side to side. So initially, I'm not focused on getting there quickly, I'm just focused on maintaining the angle. And I want to keep these loose passing threats going for 20 to 30 seconds roughly. Okay, you don't have to think in terms of that, but you want to think about multiple angles one after the other. I don't want to create an angle, let him put me back in guard, and then stay right here. Now all of a sudden he starts hooking around and then we get tied up. So when we're looking to create these threats and we're looking to get to half guard, we want to think about first, I want to put him in a position where he would love to get half guard on me because I'm putting so much passing pressure on him that he just doesn't want to keep recovering guard, okay? And so with each one of these incremental passes, okay, we're not going to get too deep into loose passing. It's just another area of guard passing. But I just want you guys to think about this conceptually, okay? Start combining passes. Toriando pass. I come in and I toriando. He goes and throws a leg over. We start moving out to an angle. His feet are never pointed to me. He's always at an angle where he has to bring the legs back in. He starts recovering side to side. From here, he goes in and he starts reaching for my leg. I just take my leg out with a high step, okay? Maybe from here, when he goes to bring the leg back over, we move out and around. Maybe this time he makes his feet wide and I just step to angles. And I'm always looking to step to an angle. This is how I know I've outflanked him, is that the soles of his feet don't point to me. If I can see the soles of the feet, I haven't outflanked him. But if I can see the shoelaces of the feet, now I know I've outflanked him. And from this position, he's forced to pull his knees to his chest, which puts him into a half crunch, which is pretty exhausting for him if he's doing that 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row. So this is the idea. The idea is, how do I get from a neutral position where we don't have grips on each other to getting to half guard? We start off by creating passing pressure through side-to-side angles where I get to a flank that the soles of his feet don't point to me. So that's number one. And there's a variety of different methods that you can use and techniques that you can use to do that. As he brings legs in, I move side to side. He brings legs in, I move side to side. I keep playing this game where I'm moving side to side around my guy and he starts bringing his legs back in and we're just keep maintaining these angles, keep the feet away from me and I move side to side. Sometimes he hooks my leg, sometimes I pull the leg out. Sometimes he recovers, I start moving this way, okay? And we keep gaining these angles on this guy. But the problem is, yeah, it's tiring for him to keep regarding, but it's hard for me to maintain this angle for an extended period of time, okay? And the reason for that is my body position, okay? And so at some point, we're going to have to go in and we're going to have to put him in a position where he wants to recover guard, but he has to recover to half guard because that's really his only option. The most common recoveries when I get to angles like this is this leg coming over or maybe the bottom leg coming through and recovering. So at some point, the split's going to come onto my shoulder, or my hip, my upper body somewhere, and he's going to use that to push off of and put me back in guard. And so, how do I stop this? I have to stop when I get to this angle. Okay, I won't be able to maintain it for too long if I'm here. At some point, I'm going to strip the hand off, the leg off, and bring his legs back in. So, in order for me to stop it, I have to be able to put myself in a position where he can no longer bring this leg over and he can no longer bring this leg across. Okay, so those are just two very common defenses for him in terms of guard retention. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself in a position where my head is lower than lower than his knees. My hand blocks his knee, and then from here I go into a tripod. So my hand position originally is at the ankles usually, okay? And from here I just go forearm inside the hip. So my forearm controls the space inside of his left hip. And my other hand has to come in and come down to the knee. So even as he goes in, we get this angle, he goes in to start bringing the legs back in, we just drop. And I bring my head right there to my training partner's shoulder or close to my hand, depending on where my body is, okay? And now from this position, when he tries either one of those two recoveries, he can't do it. When he goes to bring his right foot to my hip, he can't do it because it's blocked by my hand.
Okay, when he goes to bring his left leg over to high leg, he can't do it. And from here, I can just chill. Okay, I'm in a good position to start camping, and he's pushing me off the whole time. Okay, he's trying to recover. And from here, we're just making him carry our body weight. So if you do this multiple times, and you're able to get angles on this guy multiple times over and over, with every angle that you get, he recovers, you get another angle, you're getting a bigger angle each time. So by the third, fourth, or fifth one, it's so hard for him to stop you from getting to this position. And once I drop, now from here, he's already not only tired, but now I'm in a position where he can't even go into his conventional guard retention. And so from here, when we're in this tripod, something that will often happen is that from here, if he doesn't do anything, I'm just going to get past his legs. Okay? And so what you'll often find is that, just turn over it. From here, I come down, and he goes in and he starts looking to recover to half guard. Okay? And he goes in and hooks my leg, and I can't really stop that. But that's fine, because that's what I want anyways. And then from here, he can go in, we can walk to his center, and now I've gotten past both of his knees, and I got into a very, very good passing position. Okay, chest inside of half guard. Okay, and once we get there, we've gotten over the knees, now it's time to go convert to the upper body grips and go into our passes. So the name of the game here with this strategy is angle, angle, angle. We're looking at constantly create flanks where, again, the bottoms of his feet never point to us. It's always the shoelaces of the feet that are facing us. And with every incremental angle that I gain, maybe he highlights, we come around. You can see that the knees are pointed away from me. And he has to go in, recover by bringing the knees back in towards me. Maybe this time I come in, I get a little bit more of an angle. And with each time he goes in and recovers, we come through, we get to an angle. He goes in, starts looking to bring his legs back in. We go through, and we get to an angle. He goes to high leg. We keep maintaining angles over and over. And with every single one, however we do it, we keep gaining an angle until eventually we just drop in one motion into this position. And from here, now when he goes to move and push me, et cetera, he's already tired, and he's carrying all my body weight, and I'm just hanging out here. I'm not looking to pass him. I'm looking to bait the half guard. And now from here, when he goes in, oftentimes he'll start hooking that leg. If he doesn't, sometimes I'll just walk to the center and give him my leg. Or sometimes, go ahead and push me. From here, sometimes I'll just step my leg right in half guard. And now he's going to probably take that bait. And the second he does, we just take our two knees to the center so that his leg becomes long. Okay? So I elongate the leg on this side. And then my elbow just slips to the opposite side of his hip. And now from here, we're in a good position where we can start coming forward and get into my training partner's head. Okay, so the idea here is that we get to that position where I'm controlling my forearm inside of his hip, right here. Okay, and I'm carrying the weight on my forearm. The weight's also on my head, and again, we're trying to dominate the far shoulder. So we want to try as best we can to keep weight on the far shoulder and my hand on the knee. Okay, so everything is my body weight on the far hip and shoulder through my forearm and through my forehead, and this hand here blocking the knee. And I'm constantly pushing his knee away from his body. Okay, something that might happen is that if you rotate, I get here, and a lot of times we come in, and from here I feel like I can't get to the knee, or maybe he takes my hand off of his knee. And he tries to bring the leg in. We just catch the ankle. Okay, so we're constantly keeping that foot from not being able to put his foot on top of it, and we stay here. Okay, eventually from this position, he's going to start looking to hook my leg. We just let him hook it, and we come to the center. Okay, so it's all about maintaining angles to keep him in a state of retention. And with every angle that I gain, I get a little bit more of an angle than I had previously, until eventually I can drop into that good tripod position where I have my forearm inside the hip, where I have my hand on the knee, and I have my forehead on his head. So my forearm and my forehead are pressuring into him. I'm in a tripod position where my hips are higher than my head so that there's body weight going forward. I'm digging my toes into the mat. I'm making him have to push me
making him have to pull his knees to his chest, his abdomen contracted, the whole thing. And then eventually I'm just looking to bait him to hook my bottom leg into half guard, run the knee to the center, and now we've used loose passing to then get into